Hello everyone, Seedlink here, back with my next replay. This is a TVP, and this was a very funny, and very close game, surprisingly. Let's just say that this is a completely one-sided game, depending on how you look at it, either way. It looks like it completely one-sided towards him and completely one-sided towards me. And it's real funny. And yeah, as you can see, it's a very long game. It sends the probe to cost pretty quick. Here I decided to go for my usual Reaper build with the eBay block. And I can tell the fact that this guy didn't send a probe down that he wants to go for a one base play of some kind. And I actually let that probe escape because I actually wanted him not to see my Reapers. Tried to be sneaky here with a bunker. Didn't. Odd setup, but I guess good building efficiency if you're going to build a lot of buildings later on your main base. Got 3 Reapers, getting Barracks Factory because I'm expecting a 1 base. That's what he was planning to do initially, but it didn't end up happening. It ends up keeping 1 Stalker here, which is actually a very smart play. Most of the time, this just baits all their Stalkers down, but not this time. And just now, you realize it kind of late. I was able to get 1 Reaper alive. So lost 2 Reapers, but killed 2 workers. Not a good trade. And that was really because he just kept that Stalker right there. No one ever does that. They all just send their Stalkers all the way down here. And as a result, I'm able to get a bunch of free damage. In fact, in this scenario, I would have actually just sacrificed my Reapers for damage. If this Stalker wasn't here, I would have just sacrificed my Reapers, gotten like 8 kills. Because if he's 1-basing me, then sure thing, buddy. So now I send some Adepts in. Got him enough Marines. I'm getting a Marauder now. Stim pack almost done. And I'm also getting a Siege Tank right now. An extra Barracks. I could have gone for a Starport, but I wouldn't have had enough gas. Would have been very late. And now I know the Adepts are here, so I want to be able to kill one. Got one very low, which is something. Only lost a Marine or 2. Now I kind of expected he's expanding, which he was, so I decided to build a base here. Now I had a choice to make. I could either move across the map, siege up, and hope to kind of trade army for army and do a good chunk of damage, or just wait. Now I didn't realize it's hard. You can't really tell, especially with Prolost buildings, how close they are to finishing a lot of the time. So if I knew that it was that far away, I probably wouldn't have done this. I would have just waited for my medevacs. But I decided to do it, and it could still go well for me. Just siege up right outside of his units. But went a tiny bit too close. His units were a lot farther forward than I expected them to be. As a result, I wasn't able to siege up the Siege Tank. Got an okay trade, but not that good of a trade, especially since he has a quicker base. Now, he ends up going double Robo here. And the reason he did this is because he wanted to go mass observers. As you can see, he's got 2 already. And actually, 3 observers. And even has a random probe over here, forgot about. Now, economy is about the same for us. I've only got 4 barracks production, though, which is the issue. And also not that many units. If he just moved on me, he definitely could have won. My siege tank would have come out like a tiny bit too late, probably. Now, here's a mistake he made that I heavily want to emphasize. First of all, put the observer here and then put it in observer mode. It's much more visible. It's actually quite a bit more visible when it's static like this than when it's static in observer mode. On top of that, look at this observer. He moves the observer here. Puts it in observer mode. And then look at this. He moves it here on top of my units. And then keeps moving it around. In other words, just saying, hey, I'm here, guys, I'm here. So here, he keeps moving it around my units. And then I wait until it gets over my units. Scan and kill it. If you're using observers, do not move them. That's just asking for them to die. Now I'm expecting a 2-base all-in of some kind here because he's only on 2 bases. So I decided to do a double drop, kind of bait him in 2 different directions. No, he still has a pylon here, and it's just out of range of me. So I've got a much earlier third than he does. Odd spot for a Twilight as well. And again, he's making 2 observers. He's got a lot of... Actually, doesn't have chrono energy. I've been using chrono energy on probes, I guess. Now, I've actually kept doing this, if you look at my POV. Not in this moment, but I was doing it. Now, he didn't have quite enough Stalkers to comfortably deal with the amount of Marines I had. Now here, what I wanted to do is just bait him around and then go in here. But turns out his reaction times were quite poor. So as a result, this didn't do too much. I did get a semi-okay trade here. This wasn't really that good. And here's the dumb thing. He's got double robo, but he's on 2 bases, so he's not able to use the double robo. Like, his production, he's only been making, like, 1 unit at a time with how little production he's had. On top of that, he's just on a 5-gate. And he's getting blink now, but he still doesn't... He just gets a 3rd base now, and my 3rd base is done. He's also not continually making probes, either. Now, upgrades are quite a bit in my favor with +1 about to finish. He's getting blink, and he does have charge. And just now getting forge, and he actually forgot upgrades this game. So I scan, see the forge, see that. And just now that I'm building the gas, barely spotted that. This isn't half my units. I'm surprised he didn't use that earlier. I'm gonna be honest. Another big mistake is you never want to keep more than 1 observer within your army. Unless the opponent's got, like, a Viking and multiple Ravens, and, like, Widow Mines or something, which isn't realistic. So I scan again because I want to make sure I know exactly how big his army is. And I click and I see no upgrades as well. So I decided to go after him. Now I don't actually have like an insane amount of bio, especially against how many immortals he has, and also 2 archons. So I'm really relying on these siege tanks and liberators. So he was losing a lot there. But as you can see, the immortals and archons really doing a lot here. And for some reason he blinked over there, even though he should have known he wasn't going to be able to get those medevacs. Like, that was a super late blink. Build a supply depot here so I can see any army attacking this a little earlier. He's got an observer right here. Group up again. Got 4 libs. Got 2 siege tanks. We gotta go for another attack. This time I decided to siege up in this location, especially because if he keeps his units here, I can cut him off here. And this is the big moment here. That's another thing, is that libs move faster than tanks, which is annoying. So he loops around while I'm focusing on some stuff at home. And storms me. Even warps in there, gets 2 immortals there. I scan here and I'm like, yeah, knew it. Because I knew this wasn't just siege timing, because there's no way he would loop around like that unless he saw my army. And I actually GG here and give him a compliment on how good he's using observers, which actually wasn't that good. It's just that he actually made multiple observers, which people don't use. the best use of observers is you put an observer like here, put an observer here, and it's literally impossible to move out without being spotted. And I siege up just 2 libs here, and I've got a siege tank with a tiny amount of bio. He attacks into me, doesn't lose almost anything, and then he backs up, and I'm like, wait a minute, why aren't you attacking me? Wait, are you saying that I actually have a chance here? Because I really don't, bro. I actually have a 4th before he does. I was telling him if he forgot upgrades, and for some reason my CC rallied over there. I never clicked 7, so I don't know why that happened. This guy's hotkeys are actually quite a lot better than most people. No one actually uses hotkeys like this. As you can see, he doesn't even have a gateways hotkeyed, but most of the time people have like 2 gateways hotkeyed, 1 robo hotkeyed, and like 2 nexus hotkeyed in a situation like this. And then the sensor tower actually saw these zealots, and I even reset my rally point with some of these, but didn't with some others, and as a result, that happened. Now this was kind of a facepalm moment. So look at the army supply. He's got twice, and he's just staying on my side of the map for no reason, inside my sensor tower range. So I know he's there. He pulls all his probes, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill your nexus. What are you gonna do about that? You're not expanding well. Now, luckily for him, my libs aren't in the best position. But now I decide to go in the main. He warps in stalkers, but I mean, they gonna instantly die because, yeah. Here I just go for the Templar Archive, so he can't warp in any more guys. Now, I thought he had more than just stalkers here, because you never blink up with stalkers like that and send the rest of your army in. If I did, I would have stayed there, killed the stalkers, and then retreated once he had like little no anti-air. So now my medevac was stuck here, and I think there actually was a sweet spot like right here, but I didn't really like pay attention to it, like right there. He wasn't attacking me with the other thing, so I was like, you know what? I guess might as well just suicide. For some reason, my SCVs were still rallying over there. I have no idea why. And so yeah, still quite a bit down in supply. Now, I didn't actually even notice that, but apparently my turret was just within detection range there. But hey, I mean, this does force him to at least warp in some zealots here and pay some attention to it. Now here you see he's got actually less workers than me, and a bunch of them aren't even mining. Those guys aren't mining, these guys aren't mining. He's double expanding because he has a lot of probes that just aren't mining. And he doesn't expand here either. Scan here, I'm like, okay. And he immediately pulls all the probes. But I end up killing his base, and at this point it doesn't matter if he pulls probes. He needs to actually have a place to mine. I was able to clean this up very well. But he actually lost quite a bit, and he's not continually making units. And the reason for that is because he's just not mining. He didn't re-expand here. He tried to double expand to the farthest locations. And he's just not mining much at all. I'm got way more economy. And now I even mentioned somehow not dead yet. And actually, when I mentioned that, it took some time to type that, and as a result, I wasn't sieged up with my Liberator. So we even got lucky there with even more siege timing. And I've got no medevacs here, just the libs that were sieged up late. And I even pulled the workers, which isn't actually that bad for me because I'm ahead worker-wise. And here, even though he should theoretically have enough to easily kill me, he's got just Immortals. And I've got Liberators. Like, that was his problem this game, is that he was not using, like, he wasn't using his anti-air well at all. He had a bunch of Blink Stalkers with Blink, and was blinking the wrong way around a bunch of the time. Even made a Templar Archives, because he's like, okay, I'm not getting this frickin' picked off again. So he proxies of Templar Archives with the pylon there that the pro built that was there since the start of the game. Scan there, scan there. And I'm like, you gotta have another base somewhere, dude. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna build the farthest base and not even re-expand here, okay then. Because his economy is actually just flat out in the dumps. No, not even control grouping his army either, and not even grouping them together manually. And here I decide to move libs here, just to actually bait his units. I don't even actually want to get kills here, because you don't want to leave libs like that. It's wicked risky. Scanned there, saw the libs, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. So I need to move my siege tanks. Comes towards planetary, comes from my third, I'm covered for it. But then he moved away. I saw the libs there. Getting ready to get back in position. Then I unsiege libs from here. And I siege them up here to kind of just box him in. He's got to go all the way around here. And that's not even broken. And he realizes now. So as you can see, I'm actually way ahead worker-wise, economy-wise, and actually starting to get up army-wise now, because he doesn't know how to deal with libs. So despite, getting super lucky, killing a bunch of my army, and not losing almost anything, he's in a terrible spot, and just now re-expanding here. And I've actually got a gigantic bank compared to him. So I'm just scanning. I'm like, do you really not have that many bases? Like, his main base is mined out. He's mining from basically his natural and this base, and that's it. Like, he's not even, like, he's oversaturated on, like, just below 40 workers. Like, to just let that sink in. And he ends up getting kind of lucky with positioning here and catching me off guard. This isn't really siege timing, but very good position-wise for him. Even get caught, and he's had Storm for a while, but hasn't used it, and got some decent Storms off. But yeah, the siege tanks wasn't really doing well against them. Was able to do decently well versus me, but I've got the lib here, got 2 siege tanks here, and he didn't even see the siege tanks. He just runs, which was actually kind of a bad idea on his part. Kill the immortal, sends another immortal in here for whatever reason. Kill that as well. And now I'm actually ahead army-wise, because he's just not remaking almost anything. And I've got a big bank, he doesn't. Look at that. I boost up, go over here, I'm like, you've got to have a base over here now. And he didn't, actually. I siege up my liberators here. Siege up my tanks. Even siege up one behind there in case he doesn't come from this way. I have almost no bio, so I'm really relying on these tanks and libs. But this is something I want to heavily emphasize right now. Look at this. I've got 2 libs, and he's doing nothing against them. Nothing at all. And I even save all my medevacs. I was doing this, but I was like, you know what, it's too risky. I know he's going to be warping his stalkers, so I might as well just leave. And that was a really good trade for me, because even though I lost all my bio, I didn't have almost any bio. The fact that I keep all these libs alive, and I'm also now starting to get another starport to get tech lab to get lib range. I mean, if he thinks these libs are bad now, wait until he sees lib range. I load up my guys and go towards this base, which he's had for quite a while. He's got a pylon and an observer here, so really not the best observer spread. I mean, he made multiple observers this game, but he actually didn't use them well at all, really. And now he's going for a Colossus for whatever reason. He doesn't have any sentries, so no force field, no guardian shield or anything else. And I even see it with the army with that freaking SCV. Now this Liberator wasn't siege, so he got lucky in that regard, but his army is just so bad, and he decides to concede. That was a match in which I lost and somehow won. I literally GG'd, and then he walked into me, suicided some units, and then ran away. I was like, wait, are you telling me I have a chance? You telling me I have a chance, bro? So I stayed in it, and somehow won. I mean, it was really mind-boggling. And at the end of it, I was on only 4 bases, with 2 mined out. Even had a lot of workers here not mining. But still, my economy was just amazing, because he was just not expanding properly at all. That was a hilarious game. And that'll be it for that replay. See you guys a little later tonight for All in the Nidus.